What's up, guys? Chris from Eagle Ridge Homestead. So Lauren and I were sitting and talking about various things that we need or that we want. You know, you have your wants and then your needs, and finances and things like that. And I looked at her list, and on her list was a toolbox. And I said, okay, you're going to do what every Boy Scout in this country has done for the last 100 years. You're going to get some lumber that's pre-cut, and you're going to put together a crappy little toolbox. So I'm going to get all the pieces laid out, and I'm going to try to describe to you what I'm doing. If I go back and the audio is horrible, then I'll just put it, you know, in a text bar at the bottom there. So yeah, we're gonna build a couple toolboxes. It's gonna be a good day. All right, guys. So you know me, I like making things with what I already have. So I got a 2x6 here. That's going to be the bottom and the two ends of our toolbox. I have a piece of salvaged 3/4 inch PVC. That's going to be our handle. And I have a sawmill slab over here that I'm going to shape and get the two side pieces out of. So what we've determined is we're going to go 18 inches for our interior, 20 inches for our interior length. So I'm going to mark that, get the square out, and cut it. Okay, there's the bottom of our toolbox. Now, I've determined both end pieces are going to be 8 inches tall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark, I'm actually going to make them 10 inches, but you can use whatever measurements. And then we need them beveled at 22.5 degrees. Okay, so what I've done is from the end to here is 10 inches, and I've got a common rafter square, which already has your 45, but I don't want a complete 45 on this. I want to leave a little bit of room up here for a flat square area that I can run a screw down into our handle. So I'm going to take my common rafter here, and you'll see it's got the word pivot. That means when you put it up against the board square, that's your pivot point. So I'm going to come down, and there's several different ways of doing this. For me, this is the easiest. It also has a protractor here. So I'm going to come down to 22.5. And I'm going to mark that just like that. And I'm going to do the same on this side. Making sure that your square is always flush to the work and really pushed up tight. So now when I go to make my cut, I can go ahead and start these cuts and then cut it across. So for our sides, the actual measurement from the bottom to the side here is 8 inches. Well, I'm only going to make a 6-inch board to go on the sides. So we're going to make that out of this sawmill slab. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a square point to start with, and then I'm going to measure up. So our bottom board is 20 inches. You got to add 1.5 inches on each end for the end boards, so that's going to bring you to 3 inches. So we're going to be at 23 inches. So each side piece of it needs to be 6 inches wide by 23 inches long. And now, since the sun is blazing, let's move into the shop. Okay. So for me, any of you that were in Boy Scouts will attest to this. There was no real set pattern. So I'm just going to pre-drill some holes. Lauren is not terribly proficient with the drill. She's in here. She's right behind me. So hey. I can talk as much crap as I want to.
Since when did you stop?
See? Alright, so the first little series I'm going to drill here is just going to be some pilot holes for where her screws are going to go to hold this together. And I'm going to do 3 across the bottom, because that's going to hold the weight. So 1 out at the edge, 1 in the middle, and 1 at the other edge. Okay. So I have a piece of 3/4 inch PVC that we're going to use. I only have a 1 inch spade bit, so we're going to try to make the hole with that and see how it does. I'm actually going to go ahead and clamp this down as well. Ain't even had the shop a month and it's getting cluttered. Okay. So the way I line these up is, let's see if we can, the way I line this up is, you know, obviously you take your bit and you can see, oh, that's too close to the edge. So I'm going to back down to where I have at least a 1/2 inch of material to screw through. Let's take a moment to talk about the people who should be sponsoring my channel, Rigid Tools. All right, so what we've done, we got everything pre-drilled, and now I'm going to move out of the way and let Lauren sit here and figure out how to put this together, and I'm not going to give her any instructions. So I've gave Lauren some basic instruction. If it were me, I would angle that more so you have more area to work with. So like go all the way to the wall. There you go. Do you want it hanging off the edge, or do you want it to be on the bench?
It should be fine.
So really, I think this would, especially right now, since everybody's kids are at home, or maybe you've got your grandkids or niece, nephew, whatever, it's a great little project to do with them. You know, gives them something to do. And if you'd rather use hand saws and stuff instead of power tools, by all means, I would suggest starting your screws before you. This is also the first time she's ever used an impact driver.
Oh, that should be fun. Yeah.
I've not told you that's full of torque. Hold the screw by the shank. There you go. Make sure you're seated. There you go.
Whoops. That worked.
Yeah, it'll pop out. And how you guys do this is entirely up to you. Don't think this is the end-all be-all. This is how you have to do this by any means. I'm trying to remember a project that I did 25 years ago, you know.
Well, it's hard to be creative if you gotta stay rigid. You gotta...
No, that's the people that need to sponsor my channel. Rigid Power Tools.
And sometimes the best way to learn is to do it, and if you screw it up, well, start over. Put a Band-Aid on, clean up, and do it again.
It'd be a great commercial. Rigid, piss on Delta. There you go. You gotta really push it in.
Dang it.
It'll turn off. Every time you hit that, it turns it off. So
No,
like
I
the big
get
thing.
it.
Oh no, I'm just showing you the big thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna brace really well and push like you're pushing this board off the table. So I'll tighten that one. Just push it like you're pushing it out of the line, out of your mind.
Oh, I didn't give myself enough room over here.
You should have it just loose enough to.
So these for the.
Those go along the bottom. Unless you want to go ahead and start with your top ones, that's perfect. It's perfectly up to you.
I just need something to anchor it first.
I moved it. It was still looking way down at the bench there.
That ain't gonna work. Learning curve. Okay. There we go.
Make sure your ends and your bottom are flush.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to make it crooked, that's fuck it. Make it crooked. Screw it. Make it crooked.
I can't cut a straight line to save my life. Why do you think I don't make traditional quilts?
Just push. Just push. I didn't say push to China. Lord, I done caught the Rona. I would sink that just a touch more. You want them all counter something, just a touch, you know.
Yeah. I can go back and do it. I'm gonna get them. Didn't look long enough. Oh, whoops. Too much. Oh well, it's okay. I think I used my bottom screws for the side.
They're kind of a hodgepodge of just whatever I had.
Whatever works. You know what? Let's just.
I was kind of wondering, but you know, you do you.
Yeah.
That's what the kids say. You're gonna need to pull this one up a little tighter. See how you have the gap.
Yeah. Well, I was going to go back and check them all once I got them all in.
Well, I mean, might as well do it now. Save a step.
Yeah, but I'm in the zone, man. I'm actually getting these in there.
It's a little easier with the short ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one? You said this one?
Yep. Okay.
Barely enough.
Hold it straight.
Yep.
Turn the battery of the drill. There you go. So you can hold it a little straighter. Push down.
I'm pushing.
You're stripping the bit. There you go.
Just
All right, so what we're going to use for the handles is PVC. This plastic pipe that I've for like 3 different times cannot say the word.
PVC.
This Schedule 40, 480 PSI rated, 73 degree temperature, 3/4 inch inner diameter plastic pipe. I'm going to push this through those holes. And you don't have to use PVC. You can use a stick, you can use a wooden dowel. I just had this laying around and didn't feel like spending money. So, take that. Hold up on the pipe, please. You're also blocking the shot. You need to hold it up where it's like that, where it's going in the hole there. Okay. So I'm going to knock that over until it gets just flush with the outside. Okay. And you're going to drill the hole. So you're going to want a hole, since that's split a little bit, off to the side. And you're going to stand where I'm standing. Okay. Put it right in the center there. Don't pull the trigger, please. Okay. And right like that. Just like that. At an angle. The reason I'm doing it at an angle is because there's a small crack and I don't want the rest of the board to split. Keep going. Okay, back up. All you gotta do is pull the trigger and pull out. There you go. Same thing on the other end. This one's kind of your discretion. I would go right in the center. Okay. All right. It ain't a gun.
Let's get the dirt off of it. Bread and butter screws.
She's not lying. It's literally bread and butter. Do you want to lay it on its side and push it against the back wall?
Yeah, I think I can.
You're going to drive that straight into your chest.
Yeah, probably.
Now line your drill up. Okay. There you go. You're fine. You got it. There you go. Same on that end. Remember, it goes straight down. For those of you saying my shop's too small, got plenty of room in there.
Good.
There you go. Sink it. You mind not hitting my level there?
Yes. Well, this is exciting.
Go faster.
Oh, it's even more exciting. I want to slightly faster.
There we go.
Woo, it's hot.
Yeah. That's not the way it goes. There it goes behind the square. And after I get my tripod fixed, there you go. Now, what's the second most important rule of working in the shop?
Clean up.
Take that brush and clean my workbench off. Thank you.
You're welcome. Just pause.
The whole internet's going to know you don't know how to use power tools now.
I know I don't know how to use any damn power tools. I use a Dremel. That's the biggest power tool I use.
It's much more dangerous than a drill.
I still got all my fingers. My nails grew back.
You guys think she's kidding?
The scars are mostly gone. This one up by my eye is gone.
Wait, we didn't talk about shop safety. Be sure to read, understand, and follow all the safety rules that come with your power tools. Knowing how to use your power tools properly will greatly reduce the risk of personal injury. And remember this, there's no more important safety rule than to wear safety glasses. Now let's get started.
And he's going to walk away because he knows I'm going to throw something at him in a minute.